L'effondrement d'une partie du nouveau toit extérieur de la gare de Novi Sad a enseveli des dizaines de voyageurs. La mobilisation initiée par les étudiants contre le pouvoir en place prend de l'ampleur en Serbie.
To be clear, we are seeking the justice and we are fighting against the corruption.
Nous sommes un pays exceptionnellement démocratique. Je n'accepte pas les chantages. C'est moi, le président de la Serbie.
L'utilisation présumée d'armes soniques accentue les inquiétudes à Bruxelles quant à un glissement progressif de Belgrade vers un régime autoritariste.
We don't know if specifically this incident was the regime, but sound cannon. I mean, who has a sound cannon privately?
It's really hard to be young in Serbia right now because you have two options. One option is to pretend like everything is fine, or you can fight.
Learn from our experience, and I hope that our students will inspire you because you have the very same problems wherever you are.
Right now in Serbia, we have the largest student movement ever in Serbian history.
All the universities in Serbia are blocked by their students for the past 3 months. And they have been blocked after a collapse of a canopy on the train station of Novi Sad on the 1st of November, which has started a wave of silent protests.
Every Friday, people will stay and be quiet, and the exact time of the collapse of the rooftop in railway station in Novi Sad.
This canopy falling in this case completely shows that our system is completely corrupted, and 15 people died because of corruption.
Les critiques attribuent cet effondrement à la corruption généralisée, au manque de transparence et à des travaux bâclés.
To be clear, we are seeking the justice and we are fighting against the corruption.
Basically, students in blockade have 5 revendications, which are all directly aligned with the fall of the canopy and some of the penal processing of people who are directly responsible for it.
They are very, very precise. They need to know who is responsible for the fall of the canopy in Novi Sad, who took enormous amount of money, why are they walking around free, and to see all the contracts they have been signed.
Le maire de la ville et l'ex-ministre des Transports sont écartés, jusqu'à la démission du Premier ministre le 28 janvier. Il fut maire de Novi Sad durant 10 ans et il est clairement accusé d'avoir été acheté par un consortium chinois pour les travaux de rénovation de la gare de la ville.
Des enquêtes ont été ouvertes sur des fonctionnaires et des entrepreneurs liés au drame de Novi Sad et une partie du dossier de l'enquête a été publiée. Mais les manifestants exigent des réformes en profondeur.
We don't want people to change and the system to stay the same, corrupt and inefficient. We want the system to change first and then we can manage the people who are going to manage the government.
Students are not going to leave the blockades or quit the blockades until all of those demands or revendications are met.
I was on edge of becoming apolitical, and then this happened. If you asked me 6 months ago if this country is ever going to have any sort of actual uprising, I would say absolutely not. And then we all surprised each other with this.
They have woken up parts of Serbia that were sleeping for half a century. And I was working intensely on moving out of Serbia just in order to end my lifetime somewhere else. I almost left when the students just came and spoiled my beautiful, comfortable plans. And now I need to fight for freedom.
On the 15th of March happened probably the biggest protest in Serbia's history in Belgrade. There were more than 300,000 people present at that moment, and it was a protest that was organized by the student-led movement, and it was one of the final protests in like a series of protests in huge cities of Serbia. The first one was in Novi Sad on the 1st of February, then we had Kragujevac, after that Niš, and then logically Belgrade was the final stop. People walked to Belgrade from different cities, like from Niš, people walked for 5 days. From Novi Sad, people walked for 2 days. From Kragujevac also, and different other cities like Loznica, Šabac, and things like that.
Les étudiants partent à pied de toutes les régions pour expliquer leurs objectifs dans les villes et villages, ce qu'ils ne peuvent pas faire via la télévision publique.
Je pense que le peuple s'est réveillé et ces marches y ont largement contribué. Car nous avons traversé des zones reculées qui sont coupées des événements.
I walked from Novi Sad to Belgrade, and I did that for, well, simple reason would be ideals, but I would say that I did that to get to know my country better. They did that as some sort of pilgrimage, you know, from city to get to spread the idea, to show that we are united and there's lots of us, because regime really tries really hard to make us feel like we are alone. And also I think that a big part of this, that we really have fun and get to build solidarity through this. This whole thing we are doing is significantly bigger than just me or my friend.
We had like a lot of help from a lot of different branches of work. Probably one of the biggest was farmer help. They helped us a lot in a sense of like, they helped us block, for example, when there was the protest on the 1st of February in Novi Sad, they helped us block the 3 bridges with their tractors. They brought their own tractors to Novi Sad and they blocked the bridges. Also, they helped us a lot with food. They cooked for us. They brought us fruit a lot. They brought a lot of donations in a sense of food.
Ono što je mene lično uključilo u sam protest jeste i loš položaj poljoprivrednika u našoj zemlji, gde je monopol na tržištu, gde mi kao poljoprivrednici polako gasimo naše farme. Institucije ne rade svoj posao jer rade u službi režima, nemamo ni poljoprivrednu strategiju šta će biti za 5, 10, 20 godina. 15. marta sam bio u Beogradu, bio sam sa svojim traktorom, bio sam ispred udruženja inicijative za opstanak poljoprivrede. Podržali smo maksimalno studentske zahteve.
It was very important because it was supposed to be, and it was the biggest protest in history of my country, and we actually thought that regime is going to at least behave humanely to us at this protest, but obviously we were wrong. During 15 minutes of silence for 15 victims of canopy accident, they fired a sound cannon in protesters, like in crowd.
And according to the CCTV footage, at 7:11 p.m., crowds near Terezija Square, several blocks out from Slavia Square, suddenly separate in a wave moving north, away from the office of the President of Serbia. Down the road, videos also show the crowd separating in the opposite direction. From multiple angles, you can hear this. As people move, witnesses described hearing a noise like an airplane engine. At this point, it's impossible to confirm what was used or if anything was used at all.
It looked like if an invisible car just dropped from the sky and passed at like 80 kilometers an hour. People were thrown all around. I thought that they were running by themselves, that they did it because they got scared from something. And then I realized that it was actually people were actually thrown by the force, like grown-ass people. They were thrown by the force of that sound cannon.
It's an illegal weapon, and people are now they are gravely injured in the sense of they have been sick for days. They have burns on their face.
That was so malicious, and in that moment, only a sick mind would shoot something out of whatever it is.
Da vojska Srbije nije koristila zvučetop, niti neko drugo sredstvo istih ili sličnih karakteristika.
X je na 450X. I da li imamo 16 takvih uređaja, raspoređenih u različitim jedinicama Ministarstva unutrašnjih poslova. Mogu da vam dam sve gde se koji nalazi, ako vas zanima, ako vi ne kažete građanima.
We don't know if specifically this incident was the regime, but sound cannon. I mean, who has a sound cannon privately?
Zbog represije stranke koja je na vlasti, mnogi poljoprivrednici nemaju hrabrosti da isteraju svoje traktore u vidu protesta I to mi je jako žao, mnogi su ljudi stradali, jer kada bilo ko krene da protestuje, automatski dolaze inspekcije razne i da ne pričamo o tim lokalnim nekim moćnicima i tajkunima koji zovu na telefon i prete tim istim ljudima i to je u narodu izazvalo veliki strah.
Basically, our government has had more than one strategy to repress the student movement, but it didn't work. Now we're in our we celebrated 100 days of blockades a couple of days ago. In that sense, the government has offered us gifts, they have beaten us, they try to manipulate us, they try to lie to us, and in that sense, none of those ways have succeeded. We're still in blockade, and we still have our demands. In that sense, I don't think their repression is going to work on us because we've seen those tricks before, and we are completely aware of what they're capable.
Le but de ceux de l'extérieur qui ont organisé tout cela contre la Serbie n'est pas de renverser Vučić et d'installer quelqu'un d'autre. Le but est de faire tomber la Serbie.
Vučić announced some elections in June. We have so corrupted system that he could win with 5% of voters. So to give him another chance to artificially create legitimate government, it's something that I would say nobody will allow.
I joined the activism about 10 years ago, and I had different experiences, and that was why I was put in the focus of media in one period. In the past 2 years, I experienced the arresting and putting in the jail. My car was destroyed. They went to the house of my parents in the full-on armors and everything because of one tweet. When you search my name in any portal that is in the control of the regime, you can find the I don't know, hundreds of different texts about me as a traitor, as the murderer, as the terrorist, as the foreign spy, and stuff like that. I was the one of the activists in that big affair that Amnesty International reported about in Serbia when secret police BIA installed the spyware softwares in our phones.
An Amnesty International report entitled Serbia, a Digital Prison, Surveillance and the Suspension of Civil Society in Serbia notes that the government is employing Pegasus software, notorious Israeli spyware used by many states the world over.
I have been arrested more than 5 or 6 times, usually by the secret police. By the regular police just once. I was the first person who called on the protests about the rooftop in Novi Sad. And when I showed up 2 hours before the meeting, the secret police arrested me, and after that they put me in the car, scratched my face, pulled my hair and the beard, threatened me with the guns and stuff like that. There is a lot of pressure, especially on my first circle of the friends and family. For the past 2 years, I had something that is not normal to have in your young life on a weekly basis. Maybe the strongest part of this movement is that it's not led by anyone. When you have the leader, all the tabloids will start speaking and spreading lies about the one person. But now when you have the defaced movement without anyone that is in charge, but the whole system is in charge, you cannot point the finger in someone, but you need to fight against the group. So yeah, that was basically the idea behind it.
We protect our system of direct democracy, where we all have a voice and we all have the right to say if we're for something or against something. And in that sense, we don't really need a leader if we're obliging by direct democracy.
This is something that for politically apathical society is something new, to care for other and to be. So we were pretty much given the choice to live in absolute chaos, and we still chose to make a structure that would in the end suit everyone. So I think that people see that and see that it can obviously function.
Students are organized by plenums. That's like the highest body of student organizing, which everybody has a right to participate in a plenum. That's where we vote for decisions that we want to do or don't want to do, and that we're like for or against, depending on what's the point of the plenum that day. Aside from a plenum, there's different student group, like work groups, which have their specific tasks. Like, for example, we have a media team, we have a logistics group, we have a group that plans protests, we have a group that cleans a faculty, we have a group that works in like strategy, like in the sense of like logistics and strategies inside the faculty.
This direct democracy is the greatest achievement of this uprising. Each raised hand has the same value. They are not to be corrupted. It's impossible to corrupt them. They exercise democracy each and every day, even on the days when they return from their actions, tired and frozen. They have these plenums. And that's something that is unresolvable by the government. That's the best part every country has. This educated, ethical youth. If you don't have them, then you just can kiss your future goodbye.
The state itself is dysfunctional. You don't see any future. You still see the corrupt institutions. You still do not see any rule of law. You do not see any improvement in terms of economy or education. And that's the first thing. The second thing is our place into the international community, specifically to the European Union. When one cannot see that the European Union is close, that it's far, just as it was 10 years ago, one asks his question, is there a future in this country and what is my place here?
We have a great, huge and painful wave of emigration from Serbia. Especially this brain drain in past 10 years is immense and endangering capability of Serbia to survive, not in demographic, but in a spiritual, intellectual way.
When I had the 15, that was the moment when the ruling party came to a position of power, and right now they're having the mandates until my 30. So my whole youth period is under this regime. It's really hard to understand how is it when you need connection to get the job, and then you apply for the job, and that job goes to someone who is not in the same place like you, but they're members of the ruling party, And we are living like that from the 90s, for almost 40 years now. And it's really gross when you understand that the same people which were in the charge for the situation in ex-Yugoslavia and the bloody war that happened here, the same people which led that force are now the people in institutions of Serbia.
Gathering of the worst part of the people in Serbia, completely uneducated, unready to learn, mocking the knowledge, is the way of this government works. You have several ministers that have been proven to plagiarize their degrees. They cannot even remember which faculty they went. We have lost our country. Our country has been given away. And the only thing we have are these young people and the younger that are arriving.
Les étudiants ont réveillé des espoirs enfouis depuis longtemps. L'espoir que la Serbie redevienne un pays normal et que nous parvenions à nous débarrasser de ce régime corrompu et de tout ça. Et que nous puissions enfin connaître le goût de la liberté, nous aussi.
The corruption is killing us one by one, and no one cares about it because our regime has the support by the USA, by the Emirates, by the Russia, China, European Union. You know, we are completely alone in this battle.
European Union is a mess right now, especially after Trump was elected. The game has changed completely, and European Union has so many different interests and try to move in so many different directions that is somehow not a surprise that Serbian situation is under the radar. But some European countries have strong interest, financial interest, not countries, companies from these countries have strong interest to keep Vučić in power in order to drain our resources out of Serbia.
I see the logic to speak with Vučić because there are no strong alternatives, clearly defined, clearly visible alternatives in Serbia politics, and that's a problem. But the reason why that is the case is that definitely European Union has neglected the situation in Southeast Europe, especially in the last 10 to 15 years. That enlargement policy was definitely completely marginal topic until the war in Ukraine started.
We have shown that it's possible to have a voice as a student and to change different things, and it's possible to maybe change the narrative in the sense of like the maybe fascist like orientation in Europe right now is not the only it's not the only option.
I would say that what makes this protest unique is it's ruled by reason. It's not ruled just by heart. It's executed by heart, but it's ruled by reason, by knowledge, by common sense. Then it's ruled by solidarity, goodwill, and peaceful tools.
And I think that a lot of us lost the fear of what's coming next because every day we fight more than 1,000 different challenges, whether they're like small or huge. We manage to fight them and fight through them and continue every day, continue through this movement. We've done a lot of things that seemed impossible, but now I think we're completely capable of doing the impossible at this point.
Kind of the worst thing about this movement is that it gives only the possibility of social change, but not the possibility of political change. Like the exclusive approach against the politicians, against the activists, against the NGOs and stuff like that can be a real problem in one day when we need to articulate the final result of all this fight.
The next step for the student movement is unpredictable. We cannot say what's happening next because every single day is a new challenge. I think we're going to have healthier society in that sense because we as students and all the citizens of Serbia have shown that we can be empathic and we can help each other and we can take care of each other in that sense because we as students have been taking care of each other for the past 3 months.
I think that this is a new chapter because it was some sort of rule or some sort of a rule that young people don't like politics, they don't vote, they don't care, they don't protest. And now it's not true. Actually, young people are leading all of that. And I think that a legacy of this will stay and will motivate young people in future. And I hope that they will stay rebellious.
You need to trust in direct democracy. You need to trust in peaceful protest, and you need to trust in your right to be right. So learn from our experience, and I hope that our students will inspire you because you have the very same problems wherever you are.